Have you ever felt like God was silent? Like you were crying out, but your prayers just hit the ceiling? You're not alone. The writer of Psalm 77 felt that exact same way. He cries out, I cried out to God for help. I cried out to God to hear me. When I was in distress, I sought the Lord. At night I stretched out untiring hands, and I would not be comforted. He was in a really dark place, questioning if God had forgotten him, if his promises had failed. It's a feeling many of us can relate to, right? That deep, gut-wrenching doubt when life gets tough. But then, something amazing happens. He makes a deliberate choice to shift his focus. He says, I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago. I will consider all your works and meditate on all your mighty deeds. Instead of drowning in his present troubles, he forces himself to remember God's faithfulness in the past. He recalls the miracles, the power, the way God has shown up time and time again. This act of remembering becomes his lifeline. It doesn't instantly solve his problems, but it changes his perspective. It reminds him that the God who is powerful then is the same God who is with him now. This leads us perfectly into Psalm 78, which is like a giant history lesson set to music. It's a call for one generation to teach the next about God's works. The psalmist Asaph urges the people, we will not hide them from their descendants. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, his power, and the wonders he has done. Why is this so important? Because forgetting leads to disobedience. The psalm recounts the entire story of Israel, from their miraculous escape from Egypt to their journey through the wilderness. It's a raw and honest account. It talks about God's incredible provision, the manna from heaven, the water from the rock. But it also doesn't shy away from the people's repeated failures. They grumbled, they complained, they forgot God's power the moment they faced a new challenge. They saw God part the Red Sea, and yet they still doubted his ability to provide for them in the desert. Sound familiar? How often do we experience a breakthrough only to fall back into anxiety with the very next problem? Psalm 78 serves as a powerful warning. It shows a cycle. God does something amazing. The people are grateful for a moment. Then they forget, they sin, they face consequences. They cry out for help, and God in his mercy rescues them again. The point isn't to shame them or us. The point is to learn. By studying their history, the next generation could hopefully avoid making the same mistakes. They could see the clear pattern. Trusting God leads to blessing, and forgetting him leads to trouble. So, what's the takeaway for us today from these two Psalms? First, when you're in your own Psalm 77 moment of despair, do what the psalmist did. Intentionally remember. Make a list of all the times God has been faithful in your life, big and small. Remind yourself of his character. Second, embrace the lesson of Psalm 78. Learn from the past. Learn from the stories of faith in the Bible and in your own life. And most importantly, pass those stories on. Tell your friends, your family, the next generation about the great things God has done. Because remembering God's faithfulness is the anchor that holds us steady through any storm. Thanks so much for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that dives deep into these timeless truths. See you next time.